BBC, the BBC, the BBC, yeah. Let me tell you again now, please don't be scared, no, the BBC, the BBC. Let me make something clear about all of your fear. It's about the BBC, the BBC. Now I wonder why I would love to love the WAP, but we need to love the BBC. Need to love the BBC. Why is it so easy for people to love, for people to care about the WAP, but not the BBC? See, you want it, you love it, you're scared of it, enslave it, but then you got to have it. You know you want the BBC, yeah, the BBC. Let me tell you, you want it, enslave it, you need it, you beg for it. Wanna take a little tiny little peek of the BBC, the BBC, the You can fade it out anywhere there.
Wow. This song, let me tell you something.
BBC, man.
BBC.
That's
Wow.
right.
That's
That's
BBC.
Right. Yep.
Well, welcome everyone. We're Epstein and Hassan.
Hi.
And this is Dirty Truth-tellers. And we started the show tonight with that beautiful version of the BBC.
That's right.
And we have a very long kind of interesting relationship with the BBC.
Yes.
A number of years ago, this was probably about during the Obama years.
Yes.
We were doing an internet radio show, and we were talking about a topic, and I'm all choked up.
I know.
I'm so
What's the
choked
matter
up.
with
Just the thought of the BBC always makes me choke up. A lot of people choke with the BBC.
Oh, yes, they do.
You know, it
Yes,
can be.
they do.
The BBC can definitely make you choke. You
shock
sometimes
you.
have to-
Yeah.
So we went on the air, and we made a statement. We said that the main core, if you get really deep into it, the core of the reason for American racism has always been the fear of the BBC, or sometimes known as the big black cock.
Absolutely.
And we thought that was fine to say.
Well, like, what's the big deal?
The BBC, the big black cock. And, you know, but what happened was a number of the listeners actually wrote to the people who ran the radio station and were very offended by that.
Oh, totally.
And the owner kind of wanted us to go on and say that it was like a metaphor. And we said, well, actually, we're not saying it as a metaphor.
No.
We believe
We're saying it's a fact.
that racism in America, a lot of it had to do with the fear of the big black cock.
Yes.
And we weren't going to take it back, and we got fired. We got fired.
Yeah.
I mean, we were fired because we said that America's scared of the big black cock.
Yeah, because let's look at history. When those slave owners, right, when they were in Africa, and they see these regal African men, okay, who were skilled, who were educated, they got unbelievably scared. They said, oh my God, look at those big black cocks.
Oh, God.
Oh my God, compared to mine? My wife's gonna want that. My daughter's gonna want that. Shit, I might want that. We have to enslave these people, okay? We have to take their culture. We have to take their religion. We have to convince them that what they look like, what they believe in, is totally, totally irrelevant, wrong, and a sin. So this was years and years and years of building up this bullshit to convince us that we had no history, we had no foundation, we had no culture.
It was almost as if they convinced people that their lives began during slavery.
Yes.
They eliminated thousands of years of history, and a lot of it had to do with the fear of the big black cock.
Yes.
Now, I know a lot of you are watching and you're going, you two are so shallow. That's so shallow. It's so much deeper than that.
Don't kid yourself.
But is it really so much deeper than that?
Don't kid yourself.
I mean, human beings are pretty shallow, and we're very much obsessed with our cocks.
Yes, and we're obsessed with American blacks.
Like hundreds and hundreds of years, after slavery, we had Jim Crow, and now we have the new Jim Crow. And never forget, the 13th Amendment says that slavery is legal in jails.
That's right.
And who's in jail? Black men with big black cocks. So it's not that shallow. It actually could be very deep. And I'll even prove it to you. We're recording this on the Sunday after the announcement yesterday that Donald Trump was defeated for president.
Yes.
And about a month ago, or maybe 6 weeks ago, Donald Trump started hemorrhaging white women voters in the suburbs. And the numbers, the last time Trump ran, he got 53% of white women voters.
That's right.
So he was going down. All the polls were saying he's going down.
So I have to do something to make
So he had to do
fear.
something. And
yes,
what did he do? He told white women in the suburbs that Cory Booker was going to become the head of the Housing Commission.
I'm more frightening than Cory Booker, okay?
And Cory Booker was going to bring projects to the suburbs and fill them with black men with big black cocks.
That's right. They're going to be walking through your neighborhood at night as you're going to get your frappuccino.
Exactly. Putting a lot of the fear of the big black cock.
That's right.
And as she said, Cory Booker. But here's the point. It worked. When he first started doing that, Trump, I was like, he is a maniac. Who's going to believe Cory Booker is going to start building projects and bring black? Well, it turns out that I don't know the final numbers, and this show won't go up for a few days. But right now, more white women in the suburbs voted for Trump this time than last time. So Cory Booker's cock obviously scared them.
Hell out of them.
It terrified the white women.
Right on, Cory.
In the suburbs.
Right on.
So, when people hear us, we've actually had people write about us in reviews from our live show that we're very deep, and yet we're so shallow.
Yes, we are.
But on this issue, I don't believe we're being shallow.
No.
Men are obsessed with their cocks. And I always say the same thing. White men, straight white men, think about big black cock more than
more than black women.
More than black women.
Absolutely.
And I would say as much as gay white men.
Absolutely.
Straight white men are constantly talking about black men's cocks.
Right.
And it's all about fear. It's a fear issue. The fear of this cock.
Whew. Unbelievable.
But
yes.
We're not only scared, when I say we, I mean white people. I don't usually identify, but unfortunately I have to. But we're also scared of black women. Trump is very scared of black women.
Remember the statement, every time a black woman, one of those reporters would confront him on anything, he would always prune up his face and he goes, why, they're so nasty. Now think about that. What's the message he's trying to send out? That black women are funky, we're nasty, we don't wipe our asses, we're not clean, and the darker you are, the more you smell. Okay, he's feeding this out to people.
It's true. He's always saying, right? He's always saying, black women are nasty.
Why
this
she's
woman
so
is so
nasty? She's just disgusting. Yeah. And a lot of people, I remember I was in a situation, and I was at a party, and I was dancing with this white guy, and he touched my skin. My skin is very soft.
Oh, yes.
It's very, very, very soft, okay? He was shocked. And he kept saying, oh my God, your skin is so soft. Why? Because it's dark? It's not supposed to be soft? Yes, it's soft. And I don't use fucking ivory, okay? I was, as Beyonce say, I woke up this way. Okay?
So it's some kind of fear.
Mm-hmm.
Some kind of fear of the black body.
Yeah.
It's not just the black cock is obviously is the main fear.
And the black woman, totally, with the reputation, what do we have? That we're angry. And why shouldn't we be? That we're aggressive. But see, when other people do that, it's okay. But when a black woman does it, it's like she's nasty. She's acting like one of them, okay? And guess what? Black women need to stop apologizing for the fact that we're strong and sensitive.
And let me tell you something.
And loving.
She showers 18 times a day. I can go on record as saying, Trump, if you're interested, they're not nasty. I mean, is what Trump's saying in his own way that his daughter Ivanka is she
fresh.
Nasty?
Yeah.
Is she nasty?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I wonder about that.
When she's saying that bullshit, right? When she's confronting someone, is she being nasty?
Is she nasty? So here's the thing. Trump lost, which is a wonderful thing. I mean, we don't want to talk about Trump relentlessly on this show, but here's the thing. Trump got 55% of white women to vote for him again.
And black men.
And again, 55% of white women voted for him again, even though he's appointed 3 Supreme Court justices that will definitely take away Roe versus Wade, even though since he's been president, more women have accused him of raping them. But they still vote for him. Last time they said, well, Hillary Clinton, she was a woman that nobody liked her.
Yeah,
but Biden, I mean, who cares? I mean, let's face it, they propped him up and he's the president.
Yeah.
But white women still voted for Trump against him.
It's the BBC.
So it's the BBC. And this proves it. It really does prove it.
Now, they're not going to put us on CNN to discuss this.
And they're not going to put us on BET. They're actually not going to put us anywhere. We're going to be on YouTube discussing this.
Yes.
You know, we're happy to be discussing it. And the white women watching this now, we're not saying that every single white woman, because sometimes white women get very uptight about this. We know that there are 45% of white women, and I assume if you're watching us, you're probably in the 45%, but you never totally know.
Yes.
But we just found that an amazing statistic. And what is it about? It's about the big black cock. And it's not black men's fault that they have big black cocks. I mean, every man in a way wishes that they had, like I wish that I was a white man with a big black cock. I mean,
would you want it to have the color black?
I would shock the shit out of people. Of course, my cock is only seen by you.
Yes, but somebody would think you have a disease or something.
A disease,
and
but
you know what? I'm fine with what you have.
Thank you, baby.
I love what you have.
So we just wanted to say, to all the people out there, don't be afraid of the BBC.
No.
As a matter of fact, why don't you just love that
BBC?
Your
heart
open your heart to the BBC. Not only your heart, open your legs. Open whatever you need.
Whatever
you need with this BBC. And when you see the next time you see, and here's the thing, I want to just close with this.
Yes.
Now, Trump kept mentioning Cory Booker, which is kind of an amazing thing because Cory Booker is a kind of like, he's
a nice guy.
He's like an Ivy League guy. I think that his parents were loaded. I mean,
watch your hand, man.
So is Trump thinking, when he sees Cory Booker, does Trump think about his big black cock? I'm not saying Trump is gay, although he did get involved in some group sex kind of things. And don't forget, Paul Manafort, his campaign manager, and Roger Stone are famous swingers. They are notorious swingers.
Yeah.
And both of them allegedly like to watch black men fuck their wives, fuck their white wives. This is a big cuckold fantasy. You can check this out on any porno channel. Very popular. White guys watch black men fuck their wives as they sit in the corner jerking off.
Yes.
And we're not judging you. If that's your thing, it's a beautiful thing.
Sit in the corner,
whatever you need to do, we're happy. As long as there's if everybody's consensual, it's all good.
I agree with that.
It's all good.
Yes.
So, we just wanted to congratulate Joe Biden on his great victory, and Vice President Harris, the first black woman as a vice president.
Yes.
And thank God, or whoever's in charge, we don't have to go through the daily shit with Trump, although we have 3 months left, or 2.5 months.
We're not through now. We're not through.
Which we don't understand.
Relax.
Why do you fire somebody but let them keep their job for 2.5 months? Like, if you get fired in a restaurant, like I worked in clubs as a manager, when they fired me, they never kept me around for 2 weeks because they figured I'd steal them blind.
Yeah, well,
so I don't quite
that.
get the concept. But anyway, let's move along, Hassan.
Yes.
Because we're very excited tonight. Once again, we're going to talk Hassan's going to do a scene which ties into the black thing. It's a whole black show
what do you mean
today.
Black thing?
Well, the black show. This is the black show.
Oh, black show.
The book is called What You Can and Cannot Say During Interracial Sex. And you can say things like, give me that big black cock. I mean, that's a totally thing. And that's a beautiful thing.
And if you feel uncomfortable, say BBC.
The BBC.
People will think you're talking about the
British Broadcasting Company. But this is different, the big black cock.
Yeah.
So Hassan is going to read. Last week I read my childhood trauma. And this comes from the book, What You Can and Cannot Say During Interracial Sex, written by Epstein and Hassan, with great illustrations by Mary Ann Petite.
Yes.
You can go to our website.
Hi, Mary Ann.
And please buy the book. Please buy the book because we need the money and please.
We would like to just get some curtains in this tiny little apartment. Just help us out. Okay?
So Hassan, can you read from your?
So this is my trauma growing up as a young girl, and my life changed forever when I was 10 years old. We moved out of a black community that I had lived in my entire life into a white community. We were the only black family on the block, and no one seemed happy to see us. Our neighbor made this very clear by not speaking to us. My parents set us down and explained to us that we should be good neighbors and hold our heads up high. And remember, Jesus said, love thy neighbor as thyself. And since all of our neighbors are Christians, they will come to love us as well. My mother warned me, however, that I shouldn't go down to the community pool unless you have her or my father with me. Well, that day, I just could not even think about not going down there. So I put my Vaseline on so I wouldn't get ashy, and my swimming cap. And when I got there, I dove into the water and started swimming. Yes, black people can swim. I felt so liberated and free with the sun beaming down on me. You couldn't tell me I didn't rule the world. But in the background, I'm hearing these people scream. And I notice everyone is running out of the pool. And as I stuck my head up from the water, I saw this older white woman faint. And a lady screaming, everybody out. Oh my God, there's a nigger in the water. There's a nigger in the water. Oh my God, there's a nigger in the water. My heart started racing. I did not want this nigger to get me. I kept looking around and I swam as fast as I could to get out the water. I ran all the way home, so scared, wondering if this nigger was gonna get me. Is a nigger as big as a shark? Do a nigger eat little girls? Like, why would this nigger come in the pool the same day I was coming in the pool?
How old were you?
I was 10 years old.
Oh my Lord! They were screaming that there was a nigger in the water.
Yes.
Oh, Hassan. Oh,
yes.
baby.
And as soon as I got in the front door, my mother was there. And she noticed I was in my bathing suit. And she started yelling at me, did you go to the pool? And you better not lie. So I looked her in her eyes, first up and down. I said, yes, I did go to the pool. I'm sorry I didn't listen to you, Mommy. But there was a nigger in the water, and everybody started screaming, and this old white lady fainted, and I was so scared. My mother looked at me, and she said, what did you just say, Naima? I said, Mommy, there was a nigger in the water. Everybody kept screaming, and I was just so scared that this nigger's going to get me. I'm so sorry I went there. I've never seen my mother cry. She grabbed onto me and held me so tight. She said, baby, they were talking about you. They were calling you a nigger. And that's when she told me what the word meant. And she told me there's a lot of hatred in the world. And that when I'm out and I'm around a certain group of people, I have to be careful. I have to be careful about what I say, how I present myself. That moment changed my life. And I also felt so sad seeing my mother cry. Because deep down she knew she couldn't save me from this. Just give me the tools so that I wouldn't be harmed or killed. When she left the room, we were sitting in our living room. I looked at the photo that was on our wall. And during that time when I was 10 years old, a lot of black families had this photo. It was the photo of Martin Luther King, Jesus, and Kennedy. And all of a sudden, as I was looking at that photo, it hit me. At 10 years old, a light went off for the first time. Oh my God. Jesus is white. Does Jesus think I'm a nigger? Does Jesus hate black people? Why would Jesus want to be around people that are so mean like that. And I thought about this for a number of years as I grew up, and it molded and shaped me into who I am today. And one day I thought about how the slave and the master could pray to the same God. I mean, who was God listening to? The slave or the master? And at that moment, that is when my spiritual journey began. The end.
Wow.
So, the thing is,
Who is God listening to? The master or the slave? And let me say something. The odds of Jesus having blonde hair and blue eyes and coming from Africa, or they call it the Middle East, I don't think so. I think
they don't say Columbia University's in Harlem.
Right. I think it's pretty clear. Jesus was a Jewish guy, basically a Jewish hippie. He probably was a pretty dark-skinned guy, and from what I heard about Jesus, I'm not a Christian, but what I've always heard about Jesus was that he was a radical Jewish rabbi. He didn't believe in the prosperity principle. The whole American version where people call themselves Christians and call a little girl a nigger. Okay, and you know what's amazing? Hassan, this happened so many years ago, and America hasn't grown at all.
Because little girls are still being called that now. And adult
70 million Americans voted for someone that they know is a racist. 70 million. The last time he ran, people were telling me, well, it's about, he's good with business and taxes, and it's not really about race.
No,
you know what?
No.
I think that 69 million out of those people are afraid of the big black cock, and the other million think that little girls are the N-word. How do you like that?
And the thing is, you can't be tricked by what people look like, because we're not only just in a race war right now, it's a class war.
That's right. It's a class war.
It's a class war.
I heard like almost 18% of black men voted for Trump. So
yes.
Who the hell? And there's a lot of people with money that he doesn't. It's about tax. There are financial things.
Well, it moves into everything, entertainment and sports. Yeah. And speaking of sports,
our special guest today is our sportsman.
Yes.
I think he's knocking. Let me go get him in.
We have a really special guest today. We've had him on the show before, Mr. Stevie Sports. And he's here to tell it like it is and make it real. So I want you to give a warm welcome to our guy, Mr. Stevie Sports.
I'm so excited to be back. So excited. So excited.
I know.
I got to say that I heard the reading of from the book.
Did you like it?
It was too sad. Too sad when you're in the pool, you're swimming, you're enjoying yourself.
But don't say the word. I
don't use that word. I never use that word. Okay. That word is not even in my vocabulary. I found that very moving. The whole show so far is so moving.
Thank you.
I hope I can move as much as the show has been moving.
You're so emotional. I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, but I want to ask you a question. Okay.
Let's lighten up the mood a little bit. Between the big black cock and the kid in the pool. It's like. It's a heartbreaking show up until now. I'll try to lighten the mood for you.
Thank you, Stevie. What do you think about the new Mets owner, Steve Cohen?
Steve Cohen. Let me tell you something about this. Let me tell you something. I have been a Mets fan since I was a little boy.
Really?
A little boy. My father took me to the Polo Grounds.
Wow.
Even before the Mets were at Chase Stadium, he took me to the Polo Grounds, and I fell in love with the Mets. I love the Mets. But there was a big mistake, because the Mets have sucked for almost all their whole time. But the Yankees.
A little hard?
No, they basically had a couple of good years. But now, Steve Cohen, let me tell you, this is the richest guy in all of baseball.
Where's he from?
He's from Queens. Steve Cohen was a Jewish guy. Believe it or not, he was great in math. A Jew great in math. How often does that happen? You see what I'm saying? I'm lightening the mood, right? Right away, I brought in a little Jewish humor, a little Yiddish humor to make it a little lighter.
Yeah.
So Steve Cohen, he had baseball cards. He was like me as a kid, except I wasn't good in math. For some reason, I was a Jew, but not good in math. But
Really?
Steve Cohen, he was very good in math. He knew all the batting averages, and his dream, his whole life, was to make billions of dollars and then buy the Mets.
Wow.
Meanwhile, the Mets.
How much did he pay?
He paid almost $3 billion.
Oh.
The Met owners before him lost all their money to Bernie Madoff. They were also Jews, but more like me. Jews who were not good in business or math. Somehow they got enough money, they were in real estate, but they blew it. So they were desperate for money. They were desperate. And Steve Cohen came across almost like Jesus in a way.
So you think he's going to be good?
Oh, the guy's got so much money. Everybody is now.
Who wasn't J-Lo and A-Rod up for?
J-Lo and A-Rod. Now there's a man, A-Rod. He should own a team because he's such a man of integrity. Such a he cheats and he takes steroids, but now he's sort of back. He's back. He's back, and he tried to buy the Mets.
Yeah.
But he couldn't do it because you know why? Steve Cohen has more money than God. This guy's got money flying out of his pants.
Wow.
And I'm so excited about Steve
it feels
Cohen.
like you
I mean, this is a great thing. Yeah. This is a great thing.
Well,
and let me say one other thing.
Yes.
Let me say one other thing.
Go ahead.
Because this isn't on your question list.
Okay. Well, don't lose your accent.
No, I won't. You're giving me too many minutes. I start losing it.
Okay.
But let me say one thing about the election. Well, just one thing.
Go ahead. No, you don't. You stay.
No, I have to say this. I have to say this.
What?
The one thing I never liked about Trump is that he didn't have a dog. Do you know there has never been a president that didn't have a dog?
He didn't have any
What
pets.
kind of a man doesn't like a dog? Trump doesn't like a dog. A cat. Sometimes people don't like cats because you can't turn them into your slave. But nobody I've ever seen doesn't like a dog. This Trump, he hates dogs.
Yeah, but the good thing is now that you got the guy that brought the Mets. But I want to ask you something. Do you think this is wrong? When I first started seeing Epstein, right? And I knew that he liked baseball. So I brought him a cap. I don't know the difference between the caps. And he took the cap and he threw it. And I'm like, well, that's real.
What kind of cap was it?
Well, later on he told me it was a Yankees cap.
Of course.
I couldn't tell the difference.
Let me tell you something. If you gave me a Yankees cap, I would put it on the floor and spit on it. I would spit on a Yankee cap. I'm a Met fan, and I like your husband for that.
Thank you.
Your husband likes two things I like.
What?
He likes the Mets, and he likes black people.
Okay.
There are people like us. They're not everywhere.
It's so good to have you.
Oh, it was great. It was so great. And let's go Mets. Let's go Mets.
Yes.
Let's go Mets.
Take care of yourself.
Let's go Mets.
Okay. He brings a lot of energy in here, but Stevie Sports just keeps it real, and we are sending out some blessings to the Mets. We hope that you don't suck as bad as you
I just heard that. I heard Stevie was here today. Wow.
He's really
He's
lot
fired
of
up.
energy.
He's fired up.
Yeah.
Well, as a Met fan, this is a great thing because we had the poorest owners in sports. And now we got the richest guy, so we can go after all the free agents.
We'll see.
So, Hassan,
it's a great show today.
Another great show.
Yes.
I do want to hold you for a second. I just want to show
Hold me
because
for a second.
this show is, we've been married for 33 years.
Long years.
And we're an interracial couple.
As you can see.
And we're here to show that love
will keep us together. La da da da.
Love and good sex. Good sex helps, but love. And it's a new day for America. We're finally rid of Trump. We're not really rid of him yet, but rid of all of them. Not just him, but the rest of those people around him. That crew, and that's a good thing.
Yeah. So what do we need to remind everybody to do?
I have subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe. Okay, subscribe. Share.
See, when you look at it, right, and you go, it's a great show. Please do that. It helps us.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like a lot to do. I think it's not going to cost you any money.
No.
You might have to admit to people that you watch this, which I understand you might be a little bit embarrassed to admit it you watch a show like this. But, subscribe, share, all the rest of that stuff. And most importantly, if you could, buy this ebook. Hopefully we will have regular, regular books. Regular books soon.
Yes.
Because we're gonna do that. That was our original plan, but then we got backed up with the COVID.
Yes.
We know a lot of people are uncomfortable with the ebook thing. But, if you could help us out, buy the book. It was a great show today, and congratulations to everybody for hanging in there.
Yes.
And
keep doing it.
we'll see you again. Thanks a lot. And coming up in a minute or so are the Jackies.
You always leave that cup there on the floor, man.
You would think she would figure that out. You just,
all the fucking time.
she always kicks it over.
Yeah, well, how much energy does Stevie Sports have? Oh my
You know why
God.
she kicks the thing over? Because she's so concerned about fixing the chair.
Fixing the chair,
Like
yes.
the chairs, like anybody cares.
Yes,
about the
everybody
chair.
cares
No,
about how the
nobody
chairs.
cares
Fix
about
your
that.
voice, man.
You know what I liked
What's the
about
matter
the
with
show
you?
today? You
What?
know what I liked?
What?
It was about race.
Yeah.
Because so many people are afraid to talk about race.
No, they talk about race.
That's all they talk about
Yeah.
is race. They wrote a book about it.
Race,
cannot
race.
say during interracial
Shut up.
sex. No, they can't talk about anything
Nothing,
else.
nothing
You know,
else.
so this is a great thing.
Yeah.
And Stevie Sports was great. I love that guy. He's so emotional.
Full energy, yeah.
He's so real.
Yeah.
You know, Jackie, we've been getting a lot of fan mail.
Yeah.
A lot of people say we're the best thing on
We're
the show.
the best in the show.
So if you want more of us, just keep writing those comments.
That's right.
And we'll see if they'll give you more of the Jackies.
Yeah, we'll just increase our role. Bye.